So over the last 3 years that I've been creating content for YouTube, I have learned a lot about myself and I've learned a lot about you, collectors out there in this hobby. One thing that I know to be true about us is that we want all the books. We want all the keys all the time. We want all of the grails right now. They shall be ours. This is what I know about you, but the reality, the sad truth of the matter is that we cannot have all the grails all the time. All the keys shall not be ours, especially if we don't get focus. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 different ways that you can actually find some focus, find your center, and get the books that will actually make you happy. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to talk about 5 practical ways that you can get the books that you've always wanted, but you're going to have to do a little work because I'm not going to give you all the answers. So get out a pen and a piece of paper and get ready to start jotting some things down as I give you a few things to think about. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel for some reason or another, I want to invite you to do that right now because this channel is all about helping you to make sense of comic book collecting. The very first tip that I want to offer up to you is to get some focus. Look right at me. Find a focus. Too often, we as collectors are focused on everything but the book that we say that we really want because we go to New Comic Book Day and we spend all the money. We get on eBay and we spend all the money. We get on Instagram and start planning to spend some money. That is what we do. We get distracted by the shiny penny. The FOMO monster calls to us. We get all wrapped up and we just start spending that money willy-nilly. And the challenge is that by nickeling and diming our money away, we don't get the book that we actually want. So we have to have some focus. But once we have that focus, we also have to prioritize. Tip number 2 is to prioritize. And there are an infinite number of ways that you can prioritize the books that you want. So if you have that piece of paper in front of you, go ahead and write down the books that you actually want, right? Jot down a handful of those books that you want and start to apply some of this logic that I am about to give you here in a second. As you look at the list of books that are sitting in front of you, which of those books do you really, really want? And I'm not talking about, it would be cool if I had this book. You know what? It would be awesome if I had this. What books do you really want? Which are the books, as you look at that list, which are the ones that will actually make you happy? Those are the books that you want to put a star by, right? The ones that you might want to get, don't even put a star by those, right? The focus should be on those books that you truly desire. This is just one way to start prioritizing things. So the third tip is to look at the market. And here's what I mean by that. We are in a very dynamic market right now where a movie announcement, a TV show announcement, something getting optioned are 3 ways that a book that you have your eyes set on could get pushed out of your reach. So as you look at the market and you look at the list of books that are in front of you, you may want to put a $ by those books that could be impacted by something happening in the market that could push that price up. Now you have to ask yourself, is there a book on your list that has both a star and a $? Potentially, that is a book that goes to the top of your list. That is a book that you truly desire and it could go up based upon market conditions. That might be a book that you want to prioritize. So that could be one that you put right at the top, and then some of the others that have a $ or just a star might come after that. But these are just 2 ways that you could apply a filter to the books that you say that you want. Again, there's other ways to do it that you'll have to think about, and maybe I'll say something else in this video that will trigger another thing for you to denote one book versus another in just a second. The 4th tip is to look at the reality of your situation. And here's what I mean by that. I personally could list any number of books on a sheet of paper that I would love to have in my collection, but my reality, as far as my economics, don't match up with the reality of the cost associated with those books, so they fall down my list. And you might have to do the same. There could be a book out there that you absolutely want, that you desire, but the reality is you don't have the resources to make that magic happen. And I'm not saying you should give up on your dreams. I'm simply saying that that might be a book that you want to move down the list. Maybe you put a little dash next to that one and you deprioritize that book because it's going to take a little bit more effort, a little bit more magic for that one to actually happen for you. But what happens with this is that maybe you start to have some separation between, what books might have been on the list to start as one homogeneous list. Now there's a little bit of separation between those that you truly desire, that are within your reach, that you might want to prioritize over some other ones that are just really cool books that might just be beyond your grasp at the moment. But you don't want to take them off the list because out of sight, out of mind. Keep them on the list, just push them down just a little. Tip number 5 is to not be paralyzed. There are people out there that will analyze the data to death. They will crunch it every which way. They will scrutinize every trend, every market condition, every book that has been sold for the last 10 years. They will map it out. No one has time for that. This is still a hobby. It is still a hobby, and you should still be having fun. Take some time, yes, do some research, dig into it, think about what you're doing, but don't get so fixated on the data that you miss the point of the hobby, which is to enjoy the collection. So again, do the analysis, but don't forget to actually pull the trigger. Don't forget to actually get the book. Don't forget to actually celebrate when you get that book, because this, again, is a really awesome hobby, so don't miss out on the joys because you're so focused on the dollars and cents. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was helpful. Maybe someone out there is motivated, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel by this point, I want to encourage you to go ahead and do so. If you haven't gone ahead and tapped the button to give me a thumbs up on this one or already jotted down a comment, I want to encourage you to do that as well, because it's good for the algorithm and it also sends a message to me that maybe I said something in this video that was helpful, which motivates me to create additional content. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.